Thief 2014 is not a sequel, nor is it Thief 4. It's a reboot from its past predecessors. Thief 2014 wasn't bad, but it failed to deliver of what the original trilogy did when it came to the soundscape and gameplay aesthetics that were developed into the story of the original trilogy. I'm a huge fan of the original Thief series, and while Thief 2014 tried to deliver a promising new reboot franchise, it failed on multiple accounts because the lack thereof what made the original series so beloved by fans. While I did somewhat enjoy Thief 2014, it wasn't the same and I wasn't expecting it to be. My expectations for Thief 2014 were very high, and in the end I'm very disappointed on Thief 2014's direction. Now, one I could argue about Thief 2014, its story was very lackluster. It wasn't the greatest I'd never seen in a Thief game before, like its past predecessors. But what made it stand out, to make it true to its original form, from the original franchise, it was in first-person mode. That was the only thing that made this game feel unique to its own original. And so this is the reason why I decided to do this, is because now I understand, or what I understood, of what this reboot wanted to do. But to me, it failed to be a Thief game. I mean, it did feel like one, but it didn't. It failed on its soundscape, like the original franchise did, and not only that, the soundscape lack thereof in terms of, like making loud noises or silent noises. If you're walking on tile, it's louder, tap, 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 tap. But if you're walking on a rug, it's going to be muffled and it's going to be a lot quieter. For me, Thief 2014 didn't have that type of gameplay aesthetic, and it was very, very disappointing. And I thought that there was no implementation, none whatsoever. That's one of the big things that made me very disappointed with Thief 2014. Now, while I could argue that this game, of its main story, I did not like it at all. I was very disappointed. I did not like the way how it was directed. I mean, I'm not for one saying I'm not a professional here, and I'm not sounding like a professional, but I just did not like its direction. I thought its direction was very poor implemented, and I think that they could have done a better job if they wanted to stay true for what they did from the original franchise. And I think that's what made this game fail in that front as well. So I thought I mentioned that about the story. Now with the gameplay, what made this game even more difficult to me, it felt a little clunky, and it's not as fluid as it comes. It was I think Thief 2014 for me failed in terms of not just its gameplay, but it was just its steampunk setting, and it looked good at times, but then at other times it just didn't feel the same way as what the original franchise did. So hence the reason why when I started this review is because of the fact that what I initially said in the beginning of this review, I actually had to read that off from a comment that I made on a YouTube channel. I think it was like about a year or two ago. No, it's not even that. But anyways, that's what I actually had to do, so that way, that's how I wanted to actually start this off, because I thought that was a really good introduction. I thought that would be really good. But anyways, I'm straying off here. So, I do like the stealth. The stealth in Thief 2014 did a really good job in terms of, you had the swoop ability, which was unique. But you gotta understand, with the swoop ability, it's going to make noise. And when you make noise, obviously, like in the previous original series, when you made noise, it would alert the guards. And that's what made the originals so unique, because of the soundscape, like I mentioned before, because when you make too much noise, you're gonna alert. it's going to be high chaos. It is going to be like that a little bit in this game, but it's very, very dumbed down. And I'm just like, I said to myself one day while playing this game, I'm like, what is this? It's like, what are they doing? It's like, it felt like it was not as good as I wanted it to be. And I think that's why, the reason why my high expectations for this game were very high. I should have known better than that and just basically set my expectations on a fine line, because I knew that this game was going to be a disappointment after I finished it. And I was right. So, the lockpicking in Thief 2014 wasn't the greatest. I thought that it was a little clunky. It was a little more appropriated to that of sound quality, much like what the original franchise did in terms of, like doing the, when you walk, when you're making a loud noise, tap, 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 and when you're walking on a rug, it's quieter, right? Well, it was like that in a way to where if you had enemies around you and you're trying to unlock a safe with lockpicks, and when you miss a cue, you're in trouble, right? So it does have a little bit of that soundscape, but like I said, it's very, very dumbed down, and I knew I can instantly tell why this is a problem, especially in this game, in this modern era. They wanted to reboot this franchise because they were trying to say, well, we're trying to stay true to what the original franchise did, but at the same time, I felt like that they totally ignored it. And that's what made me so frustrated about this game, mostly. And so that's what, I don't know. I just feel like that this game just didn't do well. And one thing I will mention as well, that the voice actor, Romano Azari, that did the motion capture and the voice for Ezio Auditore's father, Giovanni Auditore, in Assassin's Creed 2. And while I'm not condoning Roman Azari's what can I say, character, or the way how he just does his monologuing, that sort of, and so forth, it just doesn't work. I felt like that when Stephen Russell did the voice of Garrett in the original franchise, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he wanted to do, and he was always trying to convince himself to, where do I got to go next in a certain way, or what, there was a lot more involved in Garrett's voice in the original franchise than from what Garrett is in Thief 2014. And I felt that in Thief 2014, it's just not as strong. It's not as gravitas. So that's one thing I really heavily admit about this. And while there are certain elements of Thief 2014 that I did enjoy to a certain extent, is the fact that you have rope arrows. There are areas in the game to where there are only things in the game to where they highlight, and you can just shoot a rope arrow up and it'll be able to climb up. That's one way of traversal. You can jump, apparently. I mean, you were able to do that in the original, so I'm not going to have any problems with that. But overall, there's a thing in this game called focus, and I thought it was a little too easy to use to identify certain things in the environment of Thief 2014. And I think that's one of the things that I didn't really like about this game as well, because of that reason. Because, like I said, it felt too easy. It was way too easy for me, anyways. And while there are secrets in this game, I can instantly tell you right now that in the original franchise, there were more secrets to unveil rather than what you can do in Thief 2014. And I think that's another thing that makes this game fail as well. I mean, do I have some good positive things about this game? Yes, I do. But I do feel like that this game it's just not as strong. It's not as strong as from what the original franchise did, and I think that's what made it so unique about the original franchise. I do believe the original franchise did a better job in terms of its emergent storytelling within the world of itself rather than the main story itself, and that's what made those games so good. I feel like the main story in Thief 2014 was a little convoluted. I'm not saying this as a professional director or anything, which I'm not. I'm only doing this for fun, so bear with me here. So this is kind of like a little bit of an overview of, not just about Thief 2014 and the review in the mix, but it's more on the lines of talking a little bit about between not the events of the originals to this new one. It's just the fact that there are some nostalgic similarities there between 2014 and the original franchise. Like I said, I just think that the original franchise did so many things better from what 2014 did, because you gotta understand, I even understand this completely, to where that the original franchise did something so unique, did something so amazingly, fantastically well-written story, the infrastructure of buildings that you went in. I mean, every single level that you traversed in the original franchise were far more different from that of what 2014 did. Thief 2014 did not have that, and I felt like that was something that I really wish that they would have done, but they didn't do that. So that's why I said, the original franchise did something so far more superior from what Thief 2014 did. But anyways, I'm sorry that I veered a little bit off topic. Well, not really off topic, really, because they are part of somewhat of the same universe, but they are both different types of games. I mean, I feel like a Thief 2014, it's a Thief game, most definitely. But in my perspective, in my own opinion, it's not the greatest Thief game. Let's just put it that way. Like I said, I praise the original franchise only because of the fact of what I previously said about those said games. Because I really don't want to repeat myself. I intend to repeat myself, so like I said, I'm sorry about that. But so, I just feel like that something about Thief 2014 that just, it rubs me the wrong way. Yes, you can be able to buy things and be able to upgrade some stuff in the game, but overall, all I can say is that you're gonna know that this game does not live up its full potential, because I think it's not just about having high expectations. It's a new era of gaming that we are in now. Whether if it's from 2014 to 2022, games are evolving every single day. So that's another reason why I don't like Thief 2014, is because this was a new game of its time in that specific year. But back in I believe it was in 1998, was it 1998 or 1999? No, it was back in 1998 is when Thief the Dark Project came out. And I believe it was 2000 when Thief 2 The Metal Age came out, and then it was 2004 when Thief Deadly Shadows came out for the original Xbox and for PC. And so, yeah. So I think wholeheartedly back in that time to when I played those original trilogy, that, like I said, they're the most iconic games I have ever played. Other than another franchise I absolutely fell in love with, which was the Legacy of Kain franchise. I really wish I could do something like that though, for that series, because that game series was one of the best, other than the original Thief games, because of its story and its cast of characters and its world. It was so evocative. It was deep in storytelling, and just the way how it just told everything all in one story, basically, because they were all intertwined. Each character that you interacted with in that series was very unique. It was rich. It was detailed. like the original Thief games were. And I think that's another reason why the original Thief series is way better than Thief 2014. Now, like I said, don't quote me on that. You can chastise me all you want, but at this point, I just don't care. I mean, basically what this is that this is no bullshit. No BS right here. All truth, all honesty. And so, but yeah, I literally wanted to make this video because of the fact that I'd never been able to do something like this before. This is the first time I've actually been able to do something like this, because this is what makes me so passionate about something like this. And I think for me, video games are my passion. I don't find it as an obsession. I find it more of a passion. So basically what this video is, it's not just a review of Thief 2014. It's talking about the original franchise a little bit, and, you know, talking a little bit about my passion as well. So basically I can probably say this is like a Thief podcast, in a way, with some gameplay mixed into it of Thief 2014, which makes sense. My own podcast, as it were. So yeah, but anyways, but this podcast is going to be coming to a close here very shortly. But I hope everyone really enjoyed watching this or listening to this. I think, like I said, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. This has been in the making for, I'd say, good, maybe, I'm 42 years of age now. I would say probably maybe 5 years. I've been on and off making some content, but it's been kind of not crazy, but it's been kind of a little hard to do because it's like I've never been able to find time. Because the only time I'm usually trying to do this kind of stuff is mostly on the weekends, like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I work during the week, and when I get home, I do have the energy. It's just that sometimes I just don't want to do it, if that makes sense. So yeah. So, but anyways, this is Dutch Gravitas on YouTube. But, you know, please feel free to make comments and questions, and I will chat with you guys later. And make it a great day, and have a great weekend.